Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Michelle. This is Your Wish Fulfilled on YouTube. And today is going to be a little bit more of a heavier topic. Okay, so if you're not for those kinds of conversations, I'm just going to tell you right now, you might want to duck out. Okay. But that's this channel. This channel, I am real, I'm raw. I don't sugarcoat shit. Okay. And I get down to the nitty gritty with you guys. All right. I mean, part of manifesting you guys and creating the life that you want to live means really facing yourself. Okay. Facing yourself, the things about yourself that you may have been trying to avoid probably your entire life. Okay. So that's going to be this video. It is what it is. Okay. But I promise you though, if it resonates, it is going to help you. Okay. It is going to bring you some healing if that's what you're needing, maybe possibly even an aha moment. If you're feeling stuck, it's going to help you get unstuck. We'll probably approach this from the standpoint of wanting to manifest in a specific person or a future spouse or just a love of your life. Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be you trying to manifest in an actual specific person, like somebody you know with a name. It can just be wanting to manifest in somebody, period. Okay. But we can apply this to any kind of manifestation that you are wanting to call in, experience. Okay. So how am I going to want to start this? It's one of those things like, where do I even start? All right. I will talk about, here's a good one. Here's a good starting point. So those of you who, who are familiar with my channel know, you may have even found me because I was able to manifest my SP. I was able to remove a third party and manifest in my SP in like 2 weeks. Okay. Which is nuts for a lot of people. It was even nuts for me. I was like, wow, this shit actually works. Okay. And then I broke up with him. I left him. Okay. My SP, I'll just tell you, my SP is my soon to be ex-husband. Okay. Somebody that I was married to and have kids with for a while. But anyway, so we'll just start there. Like, why the hell did I do that? Why did I manifest him in? And then, ultimately end up ending the marriage and the relationship and all that stuff. Okay. So this is where we're going to kind of switch gears for a minute and talk about understanding what your true motivations are for wanting to manifest something in, just right off the bat, just period. Why? What are your motivations for wanting to manifest something or someone in? Okay. And this is where I always reference that video, Releasing the Wants. If you're not new here, you guys already know. Okay. Releasing the Wants. If you are new here, please go check that video out. It's linked in the description box below. Okay. Because it talks about how being in the energy of wanting is manifesting things in your 3D circumstances to show up in a way that is going to keep you in that energy of wanting, in other words. Okay. And there's 4 basic needs: love and connection, significance, variety, and security. Okay. I go into great detail in my other videos regarding those. Okay, please go check that out, because I don't know if this is going to really kind of make sense to you. Maybe it will, I don't know. Anyway, so understanding the real motive for why you are wanting to manifest someone or something in is of dire importance, because if you are wanting to manifest someone in from a standpoint of without that thing, you're feeling unfulfilled. Without that thing or that person, you're feeling unfulfilled, maybe invalidated, not important, unloved. Okay. And you're needing that person or that thing in order for you to feel loved, to feel validated, to feel important, to feel like you matter. Then all you are really doing is you're causing the mirror. Let's call 3D circumstances in this video, we're just going to refer to 3D circumstances as the reflection, the mirrored reflection. Okay. Because that's all it is. Your 3D circumstances is just feedback. It's a mirror reflection of what is going on with you. Okay. So when you are manifesting or working on manifesting someone or something, and from a standpoint of wanting fulfillment, wanting love, wanting connection, and there's nothing, you guys, for those of you that already know, give me a second, because I'm bringing new people up to par. Okay. There's nothing wrong with wanting. There's nothing wrong with desiring. That's what we're here for. We are here to create the life that we want to live. We are here to create. We are creator beings. That's what we do. And in order for us to create, we've got to want to create, right? And we got to want something to create, but it's the energy. It's the energy and the motive for which you are creating. Okay. Think about it in terms of energy. So if you are in the energy of wanting something because the lack of it is making you feel a certain way, if you subscribe to feeling is the secret, and it's that energy that causes you to manifest. And remember, you guys, a feeling is a thought. Okay. Everybody across the board in this community does agree that your thoughts are what manifests into your 3D reality. Now, I won't even say controversy, but yeah, this is going to be a little bit of a long video. I should have told you that in the beginning, but whatever. All right, bookmark it, come back later if you need to, because this is one of those fireside chats. Okay, we're going to be here for a minute. What people are starting to kind of want to steer away from in this community, because they don't understand it, they don't know how to control it, they don't know how to master it, and they're not, whatever, people just are not comfortable with emotions. Okay, I don't know why. It is what it is. Maybe it's just because, you know, they can be strong, you know, and the way that you change your emotional state is through actually experiencing it. You know, it's not, I tell you in other videos, you know, emotional energy is not the same as mental energy. Okay. Emotions are not the same as thoughts. The way that you handle a thought that you don't like is not the same way that you handle an emotion that you don't like. See, a thought comes in, you don't like it, boom, think of another thought, whatever. Especially if you're not emotionally attached to whatever thought you were thinking, it's really easy to change the thought pattern if you're not emotionally attached to whatever thought pattern is there. Okay. Now, if there is an emotional attachment to whatever thought that you were thinking, it can be a little bit more difficult to change that thought pattern. In fact, because the way emotional energy works, you guys, if you resist what you are feeling, if you resist an emotional charge, y'all already know resistance is another feeling. It makes that emotional state stronger. So people don't like emotional energy, or they don't like dipping in their feelings or experiencing their feelings, AKA the emotional part of the feeling state. Okay. Because the feeling state is not just the emotions, it's the thought patterns as well. They don't like experiencing it because it can be uncomfortable. You know what I mean? And so, you know, because people don't largely understand how to deal with an emotional state, they try and approach emotions the same way they do mental energy, and it just doesn't work that way. And those of you that are on this channel who have experienced the releasing process, know that for a fact. Like, you know, if you try to treat emotional energy in the same way that you treat mind-based mental energy, okay, if you're trying to treat your emotions like you do your thoughts, it digs you deeper into that emotional trench, right? It just makes you feel shittier. So anyway, I should have written down something because I get on tangents, you guys, but this would be me. Like if you were sitting across with me and we were having like a girl's night or a guy's night or whatever, like friends night, fireside chat, this is how I'd be, all over the fucking place. But I would just tell you, track with me. Okay. I promise it's all going to tie together and make sense. Okay. So your feeling state being your mind energy, okay, your thoughts paired with an emotional charge, okay? So what Neville said, feeling is the secret, is absolutely true. What people are not understanding, that what a feeling state actually is. A feeling state is, you might want to write this down if you're new to this channel, okay? A feeling state is a thought or a thought pattern that is charged with an emotion. Okay, that's what a feeling state is. It is both emotion and thought. It's the same thing. Okay, so what makes the feeling state? So in other words, like, you know, you would think thoughts all day and you're not emotionally attached or connected to them, right? You think thoughts all day. There are certain thoughts that, you know, they pop in and out of your head without anything because you haven't attached an emotional charge to it. Okay, it's not a part of your being. It's the emotional charge that gives that thought weight. It's the emotional charge that programs that thought and that thought pattern into your subconscious programming, into your programming period. Okay, so it would do you a lot of good to take some time, especially if you're trying to master manifestation, your manifesting ability, to learn how to control your feeling state. More along the lines of your emotional state, the emotional part of the feeling state. If you can learn how to control that, you guys, it's life is going to be so easy for you because you'll be able to, you know, program new subconscious programming just like that, because you'll be able to release an existing emotional charge that is frustrating, that is draining, that is challenging for the very least, and then replace it with something that's much more constructive. Okay, once you get your emotional state attached to a new you know, thought pattern that you're wanting to use in order to manifest like a new experience in, you know, it gets so easy. Okay, it just takes a little bit of time. Just take a little bit of a break from this manifestation journey of yours and learn how to control your feeling state. Okay, the emotional part of your feeling state. Learn how to release emotional charges, learn how to connect a new emotional charge. You're on your way, baby. Okay, learn how to do that. You're on your way. Okay, so back to what we were talking about as far as manifestation goes, learning what your motive is, your why. Okay, because if you're approaching manifestation from a standpoint of I need that in order to be happy because I'm not feeling happy right now, guess what you're manifesting? You are manifesting in your 3D reality more things to not be happy about. So okay, this is one of the reasons why I tell people, like, just stop and deal with your feeling state. Learn how to change what's going on in here. Because when you change what's going on in here, if you learn how to feel good already, if you learn how to feel connected already, if you learn how to feel loved and adored already, regardless of what is going on around you or how people or things are or are not showing up, your 3D circumstances will automatically, effortlessly, and naturally conform to what you are already feeling. So if you are already feeling safe, then your 3D circumstances, that feeling state is going to print out experiences for you where you are feeling safe, to reflect back to you already feeling safe. And what would that look like? Okay, what does safety mean for you? Okay, maybe safety means for you not ever having to worry where your next, you know, where the rent's coming from, you know, the money, not having to worry where your next meal is coming from, or your rent check or mortgage check or whatever. Or, you know, maybe safety for you in terms of a relationship is knowing that your heart is safe. And so what are you manifesting? You're manifesting friendships and relationships with people who, you know, you just feel safe with, people who, you know, you don't have to worry what they're doing. They're not gossiping behind your back. They're not backbiting. They're not, you know what I mean? They're not backstabbing you and stuff like that. Like, you are manifesting connections with people who are loyal, genuine, sincere, you know, heart-based, transparent. Okay, somebody that will tell you to your face what they think and how they feel about you, and, you know, are doing it from a heart-centered place. Okay, relationships are not always going to be 100% easy. You know, we're kind of on this planet to grow, to learn how to, you know, coexist with, you know, other manifestations of ourselves. Okay, but that's how it happens. Okay, your 3D reality is going to naturally conform, effortlessly conform to what you are already feeling. Okay, so if you will take the time out and start to nurture, a feeling state within yourself that is completely separated and detached from 3D circumstances. In other words, you don't need people or things to show up any certain way in order for you to feel validated, in order for you to feel loved, in order for you to feel like you matter. Okay, when you can reach that point within yourself first, you don't have to worry about 3D circumstances. It will naturally conform, just like your 3D circumstances are already naturally conforming now to the shitty programming that you currently have. And I'm not like downsize, I'm not talking down to you. I'm talking to you from personal experience. Trust me, I know. Okay. Like you're not having to consciously think of, crossing paths or hooking up with, romantic relationships where people just cheat on you, lie to you, talk about you behind your back. Like you're not manifesting that on purpose. It's just naturally happening because that's what's going on inside. You can flip that dynamic. You can absolutely flip that dynamic to where your 3D circumstances is automatically printing out experiences for you that you actually fucking are happy to have. Thrilled to have, like, oh, this is amazing, like that kind of a feeling, right? So, get in there and change that dynamic, and all of a sudden it's like, life is fucking paradise. It's a playground. It's meant to be a playground. Okay, right now for a lot of us, it's a nightmare. Okay, but we can flip that dynamic. The only reason why it's a nightmare out there is because it's a nightmare in here and in here. Okay, so back to the story. I've been on this healing journey for a while, you guys. I came across the Sedona method back in, I think it was 2017. Okay. Had a major breakthrough in 2018 when I was pregnant with my youngest, my daughter. And I was still living with my husband back then. This was way before I found the law of assumption in 2021. Okay. I didn't know about being able to, change other people. I didn't know that I had the power to influence how people showed up in my life, but like specific people, like I didn't know any of that, you guys. When I learned that, I was like, oh, this is the coolest thing ever. Anyway, so when my ex-husband, or soon to be ex, last year got into a third-party situation with somebody else, I was taken aback. I'll be honest. I was taken aback because prior to that experience, I was okay to let him go, because even though I know he's a reflection of me, like the way he's showing up right now in the world is because that's how I created him, right? I'm experiencing him the way I'm experiencing him because of, my own issues. I also knew at that point, I'm like, because of course, one of my fears was that he would find somebody that he thought, because the inner dynamic, you guys, between us was, I was like, according to him, just the way he would make it seem, and this is how he was with pretty much any person he was with, that I was just like, not what he wanted at all, like just complete opposite of what he wanted, complete opposite of what he expected, a woman and or a wife to be, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Toxic as hell. Not blaming him. Again, he's my manifestation because I'm toxic in here. Okay. But I also knew, I was like, wait a minute, there's no way in hell that you were able to manifest someone for you that is perfect for you. First of all, I'm like, he's got some work he needs to do, that's all there is to it. So something in me knew, I'm like, that's bullshit. This person's not perfect for you. That's just the honeymoon stage. And second of all, what's the second of all? Well, I mean, I knew that I had the power to remove the third party, but I wanted to be fair about it, right? I'm like, okay, if this third party is fake in any way, if this third party isn't who he thinks they are, if this third party has any, if this third party would have any, what's that word? Bad influence, like if they would end up being a bad influence on my kids, then it's out. No way. And so I got to work on manifesting the third party out. And, that relationship only lasted like a month and a half. I told you, like, when I started getting to work on unmanifesting that third party, it took 2 weeks. That was it. Okay. And it did turn out like, no, she was not who he thought, she was fake. We'll just put it that way. She was portraying herself to be somebody that she wasn't. And actually she was a shadow manifestation of him. You know what I mean? So like, we're talking about this, my soon to be ex-husband kind of being on the narcissistic scale. I'm not going to say he's textbook narcissist, but he definitely, them tendencies are there, baby. She was a hyper inflation of that shadow. We'll just put it that way. Okay. Anyway, I already knew at that point though, prior to him having that third party there, I already knew he was not somebody I wanted to be with. Okay. This is when they talk about not focusing on the form and focusing on the feeling. The form of my ex-husband was not somebody I wanted to be with. Okay. Yeah, I know I could spend the time if I wanted to. And I actually did, when I manifested the third party out and manifested him back, he actually did start showing up for me in the way that I wanted him to. The only problem, you guys, is we had 9 years of experiences. I had 9 years of memories and experiences with this person where I was just like, I can't be in this relationship with those memories, those experiences. I just, that's what they mean by not focusing on the form and focusing on the feeling. So what was I wanting to feel? I was wanting to feel safe. And it was really hard for me to feel safe in a marriage with this person where there was a habit for me it was just a habit for me. It was a very hard habit for me to break, to not think that he wasn't cheating or talking to somebody else or doing something that was, just not being a shitty personality. Okay. Doing things behind my back, not necessarily. And it wasn't always cheating. I mean, he was the kind of personality that would talk stuff about me behind my back to my own fucking friends and family, thinking that they wouldn't come back. And I don't know, you guys. I'm getting a little bit personal, but this is real life. All right. And so the power is real. You do have the power to absolutely change how someone that you already have an experience with, someone that you already know, you have a history with, someone that you've known for a while. Okay. You guys, this was my ex-husband. This is somebody that I had kids with. This was someone that prior to that experience, I had 8 years of history with this person showing up a specific way that I didn't like. In just 2 weeks of really applying the law of assumption, okay, affirmations, getting myself into the feeling of the wish fulfilled, just 2 weeks. And this person was showing up exactly the way that I wanted him to show up all those years before. Okay. The power is real. Your power as a creator being in your experience is real. Okay. But again, what is your motivation for manifesting in that experience? What's the motivation? Because I can tell you right now, my motivation for manifesting my SP back was not coming from a place of, I don't know what to call it. Okay. It was not an empowered place. It was more one of those things like, oh shit, if this person is everything that he wants and I wasn't, what does that mean for me? Okay. It was coming from a place of wanting and needing validation. And yes, I manifested him in, but that need was still there because I still hadn't had it ingrained within me at that point that I was worthy regardless of what he thinks and how he feels, or how anybody thinks or how anybody feels. Okay. And so being still from that standpoint, I was still showing up as kind of in that clingy and needy energy in terms of like, who are you talking to? Who are you talking to? Are you know what I mean? Because it was just still that like needing control and wanting validation and stuff like that. It was just not a good energy to be in. And that really kind of showed me like, oh, I still have a lot of healing to do in that area. Okay. Because what that showed me, that third party situation showed me, was that this is why I tell you guys, consciously, you can be thinking that you're confident, that, you're worthy and all this stuff. And deep down inside, beneath your subconscious, beneath your conscious awareness, okay, which means hidden, which means you're not consciously aware of it. You're not consciously feeling it or thinking along those lines. Subconsciously, though, it's there. Okay. And that's why things happen in your 3D circumstances when you are affirming the opposite, is to show you what is blocking what you're actually wanting to manifest in. And what happened was I still had something deep down inside of me that was like, oh shit, what if he finds somebody that is, perfect, that is, that he's always wanted. And then, that means that I really was the problem. That was still a fear of mine. I didn't know it. It was deep down inside, and it manifested in the form of a third party. Okay. That looked like she was perfect for him in every way. Okay. She wasn't, but all right. Anyway, so what is the motivation that you guys are wanting to are wanting to manifest something in for? Because it's not that you can't manifest it in. Okay, you can manifest it in, but it's going to be very difficult for you to maintain that manifestation in that energy, because you manifesting your SPN under the guise of wanting validation, wanting to feel good enough. You'll manifest them in, and then you'll start manifesting behaviors from them that leave you feeling unworthy and not validated. This is why it is such an important thing for you guys to take time out and start working on your self-concept so that you can feel validated anyway. So what this experience with me and the third party and all this stuff really taught me was like, okay, I really need to work on my self-concept. I really need to work on feeling validated regardless of how he is or isn't showing up, or anybody else for that matter. Okay. And I got to work with building up my self-concept. And now we've been like really officially separated, going through the paperwork and stuff like that for, 3 or 4 months. And I know he's actively dating. I don't know if he's dating, like one particular person, but I do know he's dating, and it's not affecting me. I'm not worried anymore about him finding somebody that is better for him than me. I'm like, you go for it. You're a whole mess of problems right now, because anyway, we'll just leave it like that, and I honestly do hope that, he takes some time out and does his own healing process and works with his own shadows and stuff like that. That's the best thing for, him and our kids, him as a father to our kids. But I'm not worried about him anymore finding someone else that might become the love of his life. I'm not worried about it anymore, because I've taken that time to really work on my self-concept. I know who I am. I know what I bring to the table. I know what makes me special, what makes me unique. And I also realize that, my energy is not for everybody, and that's okay. The people that my energy is for are fucking amazing. And I'm okay with that, because, the people, you know what I mean? So like, I got really grounded. I'm really grounded in my self-concept, in my self-worth. Okay. Now we're going to shift gears a little bit and talk about another reason, something else, because there's always something right underneath, right? So I had this whole thing with, not feeling good enough, not feeling worthy, but there was a need underneath that. And it was a need of not feeling abandoned, not feeling alone. That's the big, ugly monster. Okay. That a lot of us have. There's this thing about Have you guys ever heard of the void? Okay. I think you guys, that's a lot of the reasons, a lot of us, you know, the reasons why we're either dealing with coping mechanisms or addictions, or maybe we're just, you know, super, super high achievers and we're just nothing, you know, just constantly going after the next thing and the next thing, is to be because we're running away from what we, I don't know. I don't know if this is a programmed thing, because a lot of people feel this, okay, but something called the void, of feeling a void within, but it's like a vacuum. You can never really, it's never really satiated unless you go through, you know, releasing the wants and stuff, and then you start to build up that feeling yourself. Okay. So in this void can be anything. For me personally, it's the feeling of abandonment. You know, everything that I was wanting to manifest in was to avoid that feeling of abandonment. That was the void for me. I did not want to be in that void called abandonment, where in my mind, I saw it as it was dark, it was vast, and it was empty. I was the only energy in it. There was no one else in there with me. Okay. And this is something that I have been actually coming face to face with for a couple of weeks, you know, and that's how buried it was. That's how buried it was. And so what I want you to got, you know, and this is a journey, you guys, you know, you guys will get to that place eventually. You don't have to go diving deep right into it, but this is one of those things why you really want to check and take your manifestation through the releasing the wants process. It's like peeling an onion, you know, like, why do I want to be successful? You know, there could be multiple wants attached to wanting to be successful. You know, maybe successful for you means I'm worthy of something. I made something on myself. I matter. But it also could mean I'm, you know, I'm secure. I'm safe. I'm comfortable. Things are predictable. I know that things are going to be handled financially. Same thing with, why are you wanting to manifest in your SP or a future spouse? What is that bringing to you? Okay. What are you running towards, and what are you running away from? I didn't realize for the longest time I was running away from feeling abandoned. Everything tied back to that one fear, everything, even wanting success, because success made me feel validated, made me feel important, made me feel worthy of love. Why do I want to feel worthy of love? Because I didn't want to be alone. I didn't want to feel abandoned. I was running away. Everything that I did was to stay away from that big bad void called abandonment. And so what I had to do, you guys, was first to stop running away from that feeling, because it's just another feeling, and allow myself to feel as abandoned as I was feeling. Okay. What happens, you guys, when you clear out these emotional charges, you leave space for truth, for insight, and for guidance, divine guidance. Okay. Because you're a multidimensional being. You have connection, you have the ability, and how do I want to put it? You have access to universal knowledge. Okay. So anything that you could ever need guidance for, any kind of, you know, anything. When you clear an existing emotional charge, like a feeling state, the answers that you need to help you in your journey just automatically just like dawn on you. You know, when people say, oh, something just dawned on me. That's usually what it is. You're tapping into universal knowledge, okay? Universal wisdom. And so I realized I was in some seeking behavior meaning, or avoidant behavior even, where I was just distracting myself with things because I was not wanting to feel a certain way. And I realized what was going on. I was like, I need to stop. I'm like, what am I running away from right now? What am I not wanting to feel? And it was this void. I'm like, there's nothing here. I'm running away from feeling, and then I later realized it's that feeling of abandonment, but really in my mind and in my heart and in my soul, it was this feeling of a void. Like there's not, I'm the only one here and there's nobody else around. It was just me. Talking about the void, right? And so rather I stopped my distractions and I just sat in that energy, however uncomfortable that it was, because I knew if I at least did that, I could, release that charge that would free me of that feeling. But at the same time, I had to make peace with actually being in that space. So in other words, you guys, I wasn't feeling the feeling so that I wouldn't feel it anymore. Okay. That is releasing with an agenda. That's not what releasing is. Releasing is just making peace with what is. And I was making peace with feeling in the void. Okay. I wasn't doing it to try to get out of the void. I was just sitting in the void. I'm like, okay, however long it's going to take for me, I'm going to feel it. However, even making peace with, well, what if I feel like this forever? Then I feel like this forever. Okay. It's that kind of acceptance. That's what it means being kind of in that feminine energy where there is no agenda to doing this. You're doing this just because that's what it is. Okay. That's where you're at. But the minute that I did, you guys, something dawned on me. It was like, why are we looking at the void as something that is, big and bad? Okay. What is the void really? Okay. It's an empty space, and is empty always a bad thing? Okay. Is feeling empty always a bad thing? Is an empty vessel, does empty inherently always mean bad? And no, it absolutely does not. Because what happens when you have a vessel that is filled with something that is putrid and rotten and degrading, right? That's not a good thing. Sometimes it's good to allow yourself to be emptied out. Sometimes it's good to feel empty. And that was one of the things that I had to deal with my, with walking away from my marriage. I was like, I did not like feeling empty. I did not like feeling void. But then I realized, I'm like, he was like him being in that space and allowing him to occupy that space was filling my vessel with all kinds of things that were not good energies. Okay. Disrespect, disloyalty, deceit, gossip, backbiting, backstabbing, and stuff like that. Those are not good things to be filled with. But because I was so afraid, like you guys, it sounds messed up. It does sound messed up, but in my programming, we'll just put it that way. My programming was like, well, it's better to be filled with putrid and rotten and disgusting things than it is to be empty. Because if you're empty, that means you're abandoned, you're alone, and that means nobody loves you, you're not worthy, blah, 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 blah. And it is better to be violated than it is to be abandoned. Okay. And something made me realize, it was like, you know what, stop calling in. This is for me personally, you on your own journey, this might work for you, whatever resonates. Okay. But I'm not calling it the void anymore. Okay. The void feels like a vacuum, right? Think about languaging, you guys. There is something with languaging. Okay. For me, the void just has this natural connotation where it's dark, it's empty. Empty not always being a bad thing, but it's like a vacuum. It's insatiable. It's not only empty, it's like a black fucking hole. Okay. That's just eating up everything good, anything around it. It's never satisfied. Something was like, stop calling it the void, number one, call it something else. And I'm like, well, what can I call it? And I was like, oh, I'm going to call it the big empty. It's just empty. And empty is not always a bad thing. An empty vessel, you can fill it with anything. An empty vessel, I'm looking at it as like, oh, there's a lot of opportunity here. I can fill it with whatever I want now, and I'm looking at it as number one, because I have been working on my self-concept. I do know now, it's like, I am worthy. I'm worthy of so many things. You know, I do realize that I'm worthy of love. Number one, because I know that I am love, and I know who I am, and I know what my talents are, I know what my strengths are, I know what I can bring to the table to any of my relationships. I know that I'm worthy. So it's like, oh, okay, I'm not alone, not really. You know, I've got friends, I have family and stuff like that. Now, do I need to, like, you know, engage a little bit more? Yeah, I do. I'll admit it. But I'm not really alone. I'm not. You know, I may not be talking to anybody right this second. I mean, I'm talking to you right now, but I'm not truly, truly alone. Okay. When I changed the wording and I looked at it as though, like, oh, I'm not really alone. This isn't a void, it's just empty. You know what I mean? Like I changed it. I'm like, oh, okay. We're not going to call it, I'm not in the void right now. I'm just kind of in an empty space. And that's okay, because I can fill it with whatever I want. And it's okay for my, you know, my soon to be ex-husband to not be filling the space anymore, because the way that he was showing up for me, he wasn't filling it with good things anyway. Okay. Nothing against him. You know, he's got his own stuff to, you know, and I manifested in that experience for a reason, you know, so I'm making peace with that. Okay. So you guys really take some time and think about why you are wanting to manifest something in. Are you running away from the big, bad, ugly void, from, you know, from the black hole inside? Okay. Maybe you're not there yet. You know, maybe you can just kind of make a mental note of this video later as you are going through the releasing process. You know, I've been doing the releasing process since 2017. It's what, 5-6 years later, 18, 19, 20, 5 years later. I'm just now getting to the root of my problem. Okay. I didn't realize that I had that, you know, there was this thing called the void. And really what it was abandonment. I didn't like feeling empty, not understanding that empty is not a bad thing. Empty can actually be good if you've been filling yourself up with things that are toxic and disgusting and putrid and rotting. It's okay for you to be empty for a minute. Allow yourself to clear out and clean out, and then you can start filling yourself back up with things that are actually good for you. This is where I'm at in my journey right now. Okay. So, you know, I mean, and I know I've been knowing, like, I'm not, you know, do I want, you know, a romantic partner? Yeah, of course I do. Who doesn't want that? You know, who doesn't want to spend their life with somebody in that manner, in that capacity? Isn't my focus right now? Not really. I'm open to it, but I'm not purposefully at this point in time. I'm paying really close attention to my motivations. What am I manifesting in and why? Like right now, you know, I'm manifesting subscribers for this channel because helping other people out, helping other people heal, helping other people to, you know, learn how to enjoy their life and feel good on purpose makes me feel good. I just love the way it feels. It makes me feel good. Okay. I'm not doing it because I need validation. I'm just sharing my gifts. I'm sharing my talents. I'm sharing my ability to communicate. I'm just sharing my gifts and my talents, and, you know, knowing that it's helping people, but there is no want attached to it. Not really, not in a bad way. Okay. I'm not needing or wanting validation. I already have that. Okay. I'm not wanting or needing love and connection. I already have that. I'm not wanting or needing, you know, I do need to, like, for real, I'm just being honest. I'm currently still working on wanting, like, control, insecurity, and comfort and stuff like that. Okay. I'm still working on that, being transparent. But you know what I mean? There's so, like, I'm really paying very close attention to my motivations of the things that I'm manifesting in, and I'm going in and I'm clearing out whatever is underneath there. Okay. And yeah, you guys, if you haven't, you know, gone through the releasing process, it's one thing to know the process. It's a whole other thing to actually do it. Okay. You need to do it. Go learn it. Okay. I know this has been a super long video. That's just what it is. Okay. It's Friday. Had a fireside chat with me without the fire, but whatever. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and close it out now. Let me know, you guys, let me know what you thought in the comment box below. Okay. Share and subscribe if you feel led to do so. Definitely smash that like button. It's a wonderful way to energetically donate to the channel. Oh, and if you guys are needing, you know, personal one-on-one time with me, maybe to kind of help you, because that's just how it is sometimes, you know, you need somebody that's outside of, you know, your programming to help show you where your holdup is, where your block is, or whatever. Okay. I am available for one-on-one coaching. Check the description box below for the booking details. Okay. If you've got any questions about anything, drop the comment box below. All right. I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.